All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. I have another communique here, and what they want me to do is they want me to explain. This is what it says. It says, Pastor Dowell, can you explain the difference between delegates, superdelegates, and how do they impact the election? Well, I wish I could find my Constitution up here. Matter of fact, I know it's here. It is right here. Here it is right here. All right. Before I go into this, okay? Before I go into this, and I please try to listen to me if you can. That doesn't mean that everybody is going to. All right. That doesn't. It really truly doesn't. But you're gonna have to. The one thing you need to understand is this: nothing in this life is ever the truth until you get it. You understand that? That means no matter what I say, no matter what information that I put forward, no matter how brutally honest I'm going to be, no matter how truthful that I am, until you get it, and until you do your own due diligence, your own independent research, until you start exercising some self-autonomy, nothing that I say is going to mean anything. Now, you can blindly receive what I say simply because you asked the question. But of course, I would admonish you to check behind what I say. The reason why I ask you to check behind what I say, because when you start doing your own due diligence, when you start doing your own independent research, do you know what takes place? What takes place is it starts to lodge deep down inside. Don't make the mistake, like a lot of people do in life in general. They ask questions, and if it agrees with their feelings, which they simply can't make sense of, if it agrees with their emotions, them things change like the wind. And then you put your agreement to it and you accept it, it becomes truth to you. That is totally nonsensical. It just does not make any sense whatsoever at all. Yet and still, the majority of the populace in the world today are controlled this way. Especially when they're receiving information. It makes no difference, social, political, economic, or religious. It makes no difference. I actually admonish the people where I preach and teach in the Straightway Truth Ministry. I actually admonish them to make sure that they do their due diligence. Check behind me. Check behind me. I want you to. Because I wanted this truth that's being presented to you to sink deep down in your heart. So let's go ahead and go on with it. All right. First thing we need to understand is this. And I'm going to tell you before I answer this question. I personally think that the whole system needs revamping. But notice, this is what I say. But let me give you a reason. Because my reasons. I don't want to sit up here and just start dropping blanket statements upon you without letting you into my mind the reason why I say what I say. When this Constitution was drafted, as well as, I got right here on this desk right here. Let me take this. It's two of them right there. When this Constitution was drafted, this Declaration of Independence and Bill of Rights, people were using horse and buggy. Are y'all comprehending what I'm saying? That was the means and modes of travel. And it could take them weeks, sometimes months, just to travel from one end of this country to the next. And so therefore, when they would have conventions or they do votes or whatever it may be, it didn't happen today. They didn't have the same system to where we can simply fly from state to state in a matter of hours. Or we can drive from state to state in a matter of hours. Now, I said all that because I'm trying to paint a picture of the reason why I think that the system needs total revamping. Because what if you have congressmen, or what if you have what we're getting ready to go into, delegates and superdelegates? What if some of these people can't show up to vote? And what if you have an election that's pretty close? You understand what I mean? Who's going to be the determining body? Anyway, let's go into this. All right. You have in this world right here, in the United States of America, and that's what I mean, we have a system that they call a democratic system, yet and still we are a constitutional republic. But every time you turn around, they're trying to tell us we're a democracy. Man, you're talking about confusing the issue over and over again. Well, so I can get you to try to understand the best way that I know how, so that you'll know that I know what I'm speaking about. I think it's better for me to go into the situation that we find ourselves facing today. For instance, you have on the Democratic side, and mind you, it is amazing how in this world, America, we only have a two-party system, Democrat and Republicans. And every single time it seems like the independents is always snuffed out of the debates, or if anybody who actually is able to get on the ballot, they're actually snuffed out of debates. They're marginalized. I think that we are not in a democratic system by function. And I think our Republican or our republic system has been hijacked some time ago, a long, long time ago. And so when you look at what's really, truly taking place today, it's almost kind of like the figure of Wizard the Oz. You remember Wizard Oz? So on the Democratic side, you got Hillary Clinton and you got Bernie Sanders. All right. On the Republican side, right now we have Donald Trump, which is the leader of the party right now, or at least leading in delegates, just like Hillary Clinton is leading the delegates on the Democratic side. And then you have Ted Cruz, and then you have Kasich, who's so far behind. Now we have to ask ourselves a question. Why is Kasich, who's only won 1 out of 24 states, which is his own state, why is it that this man is obstinate? Why is it that he's vindictive? Why is it that he is staying in this race? And he said it all the way to the convention with only 66 delegates, mainly from his own state. Now, he's probably got more delegates because you get a few delegates, depends on if the state is open or closed, and winner take all. And I know it is all confusing, but you got to take some time to do this. But anyway, I'm going to give you, at least to the best of my ability, what I know. And I'm by no means no expert, but I do try to exercise self-autonomy and no matter what I do, okay? All right. You have the strategy, and I'm watching Donald Trump as well, but you have the strategy of Kasich. He actually wants this thing to go to the Republican convention, the RNC. And the reason why he wants to go there, because he is sure that he can convince not only the delegates, but the superdelegates that he should be the nominee to run for president under the Republican ticket. Well, the question should immediately come to your mind is, what about us, the people who just got finished voting for all this stuff? Where do we fit in? That's the reason why you hear me say over and over again, ask yourself this question. If you've been listening to my videos any length of time whatsoever at all, ask yourself this question. Have you ever heard me say this? You're not electing anybody. They have already been selected. You ever heard me say that before? If you've been listening to me any length of time, I've been telling you this stuff. And what I'm doing is when I come up with these strange statements, is I'm dropping knowledge right off the edge of my lips and tongue to you to hopefully stimulate thought. Hopefully to stimulate this thought process right here to let you know that things are not what they seem to be. You see, you go and vote, and you really truly believe your vote counts. But when you go and vote, it makes no difference. You're voting to see how many votes for a particular candidate is going to be cast in order for he or she to win the delegates of their state. And I'm in the state of Tennessee, and I believe that Tennessee only has 11 delegates. That's the reason why nobody comes to campaigns here. They may run through here, but they don't come campaign here. You know, they're after the big states like California and Florida and Ohio and New York and, you know, and Illinois. You know, people carry the big, and Texas. You know, the people carry the big delegate count and stuff. And us little small fries, you know, we'll come on in one day. But Kasich, as well as what was the other guy? Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz They are hoping that they can get to the convention without Donald Trump winning all of the delegates. Even if he does win all of the delegates, that does not mean he's been confirmed or has got the nod from the proverbial powers that be. So you have a convention basically that's going to be contested. All right. And in this contested convention, let me get my thoughts together, that people are getting ready to go to right now. I'm talking about Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Kasich. What they're doing is they're hoping for a contested convention where the delegates will decide who's going to be the nominee. And if they end up fighting and batting at each other and stuff, and they just seem to can't get along, then the next thing you know, they're going to probably take it to the next level, which is a broker convention. Now, the broker convention is where the people who are the super delegates in the party, the bosses, they're going to pick who they want to run under the Republican or i.e. the Democratic ticket. Now, even at that, the Democrats, I believe, if my memory serves me right, the Democrats, I believe, they have super delegates. But if I'm not mistaken, I have to go back and do my research. I believe that the Republicans have what they call unpledged delegates. All right? Unpledged delegates. All right, but either way, let's go ahead and go forward, because I really, truly don't want to make this video long. I'm trying to make sure I get my thoughts together, because I don't think on this stuff every single day. I hear these talk show hosts out there, they talking about it and stuff, but they don't even understand the process, simply because, it's been a lost art for people to do their own independent research. It really, truly has. So what we're basically in is we're in a system to where you may vote, but you don't have the last say. And that's the thing that Al Gore was talking about more than anything. The reason why he lost the election to Bush is because he received the majority of the votes, yet he lost. And everybody in the country like, what in the world? How do you do that? That's because they don't understand the system that was in place then. That's the reason why I tell you, I didn't say the Constitution. I'm talking about the electoral system. The electoral system. It needs to be revamped. Simply because I stated it earlier. Travel. The means of travel, what people use, to get to and fro today. All right. So what we need to understand, we, the American people, we need to understand that if we vote and we choose a candidate, it doesn't mean in this schizophrenic system that we find ourselves in today that you're actually voting. I mean, everything's about strategy. Nothing is concrete. Everything is abstract, and because we live in an abstract society, and most people don't even understand what that means. But what you're doing when you cast a vote, you're casting a vote and you're telling the delegates this is who you want them to confirm to represent the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, depending on which one you're voting for at that particular time, to actually go head to head in the primary when they're getting ready to have the presidential election. All right, that's the only thing you're doing. All right. The problem comes in is when you realize that they ain't got to listen to you, and they ain't going to listen to you, and they don't have to listen to me, and they're not going to listen to me. And that's where the problem comes in, because you and I, we haven't been taught this in public food system or in college. None whatsoever at all. Whew, boy, this is actually even hurting my head even thinking about it right now. All right. But if the delegates can't agree, the super delegates are the ones who's going to decide who's going to represent the party. Now you understand the reason why Donald Trump, you remember he started off vicious. He started off exposing. And now he's done changed his cadence. His cadence is now speaking like this. We need to come together. You know the reason why he's talking like that? Because he understands the system. Because it's one thing to get the American populace on your side. But it's another thing that if you go to the RNC, if you go to the convention and you don't have all the delegates to secure the nomination, then it's up to the delegates and the superdelegates. And even the superdelegates can trump the delegates. And I'm using that delegate superdelegates just to keep it simple rather than saying unpledged. Okay, so follow along, right along with me now. And so now you notice that he's done changed his attitude, he's done changed his spirit, and now he's trying to say we need to come together because he knows that in order to get the nod from the powers that be, superdelegates. And you might be asking, well, dang, Pastor Dow, who is these superdelegates? Well, I'm going to tell you who they are. The superdelegates are former presidents, senators, governors. These are the superdelegates. And now you see the reason why Mitt Romney is come out against Trump, because what he's doing, he's expressing what him and the rest of the superdelegates, check this out, feel about the front runner, Donald Trump. Man. Ooh, it gets ugly, don't it? And so you might ask, well, dang, where do we fit in at as the American public? I mean, what's the use of this voting and all this other stuff if when we sit up here and waste our time, energy, money, and effort, it don't count for nothing, because in the end, it's based upon these superdelegates giving the nod, regardless of who the people vote for. Well, I don't have anything else to say to you but sorry. That's the reason why I keep telling you your vote don't count. Now, starting at the grassroots by states, you can go there and you can vote and stuff like that. But remember, your vote is only one vote cast in the vote of many to see who's going to win the delegates of that particular state. Again, I go back again. That's the reason why Al Gore was having a hissy fit, because conventional wisdom says, I've got the most votes, I should win. That's common sense, but we live in a world that is uncommon today. I think the real question that we all need to ask ourselves is this. Those people who fancy themselves as our leaders, and remember, most of them, they've been selected, not elected by you. They all been selected. That's the reason I keep telling you, when you hear me make statements like this, some of you are paying attention, some of you are not. I am under no illusion whatsoever at all about this system of election in this country. Believe you me, and you know the reason why? I hate being lied to. I hate being lied to. I hate being deceived. And so that's the reason why I take the painstaking task to come on this YouTube channel and try to educate as many people who have the ears to hear, be it social, political, religious, or economic. But I continue to keep running into the majority of the people. There's only a very few of us that are intelligent, but the majority of people seem to be dumb, dormant, docile, demoralized, and demonized today. And it's just, it's getting really strenuous. I don't even know how long I can continue to keep trying to pour out wisdom, pour out truth to a gainsaying people who don't even want to know. Matter of fact, the truth is they don't even care. But we need to ask ourselves the question. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. And the question needs to be this. Do these delegates and do these super delegates know better than we do? I don't think they do. I really, truly don't. But somehow, some way, they believe that they know better than we do. And they are going to be the ones who are going to determine who's going to be the next leader of the so-called free world. I just told you the truth. And it's the truth straight way. And I dare any politician, anybody who thinks that they can comprehend this system and understands this system, I dare any of them to come on here and try to refute me for what I just got finished telling you. Because it is the truth. And it's the truth straight way. That's why I say we need to go back to go back. Well, we need to go to, a long time ago they used to vote and cast lots, you know what I mean? And then whoever had the most lots win. It didn't have all this schizophrenic complex system to where, this system is just so crazy. It's so cancerous because nobody means what they say and nobody says what they mean. And then if they mean what they said, they really truly didn't mean it. But they meant to say it this way. But they didn't say it that way, even though they said it a day ago. But this is what we really truly meant after you got us in the sling. It's complex. Matter of fact, even just explaining this, it's done gave me a kind of like a mild form of disagreement in my head. You would call that a headache. All I need to do is to go in. That's all I need to do is just relax for a moment. Let me end it on this. When the Democrats went to the convention in 2008, Hillary Clinton was ahead of Barack Obama. I think she had like 1,080, and Barack had just a little over 1,000. And I think, if my memory serves me correct at that time, they needed like 2,000 delegates to be able to secure the nominee of the Democratic Party. So, the question is this. Then how did Barack Hussein Obama get in? Well, I tell you why. It wasn't because of you, the people. It was because of the delegates and the superdelegates. Now, you understand the reason why I have no confidence in the American system of voting. Hope I said something to stimulate thought. My name is Pastor Dowell. I hope you show this video to someone else so they may be educated in the truth in reference to this politics right here and the truth straight way. Shalom. Have a good day.